Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Kim by Kynection webinar. My name is Vicky and I'll be hosting today's webinar. Today's session will run for approximately half an hour with time for questions at the end. Questions can be submitted at any time in the question box on the webinar's control panel. Our presenter today is Luke Simmons, who is the Channel Manager of Kim by Kynection. In this webinar, you will learn about Kim by Kynection, a mobile workforce technology platform which can be used to improve operational efficiency, deliver better outcomes for your customers, and achieve business growth. Kim is known as Australia's most comprehensive web and mobile platform to help manage field-based teams and integrate seamlessly with Reckon accounts hosted. I'll now hand you over to Luke.
Thank you very much, Vicky, and yeah, it's great to be here and part of the Reckon ecosystem. So great to be having all these conversations that we're having at the moment. Because we're a new add-on partner, and what I'm going to be taking you through during the next half an hour is a look at our platform and learn a little bit about us, and hopefully we can have a bit of a chat and find out some of the issues that you're facing, and hopefully we can help overcome them. So what we're about is using one system to streamline business process, because in effect, that's what our product is all about, how to help you get the job done easier, okay? So as Vicky said, we're going to go through a quick technology presentation, then we're going to go through the demonstration, and then at the end, we're going to have a Q&A. So it's going to be short and sharp, and hopefully you've got lots of questions out the back of this. So a little bit about us quickly. So we were founded in 2006. We originally came out of the transport space, but we've also now got customers in the building services, manufacturing, and field-based business space as well. When I'm explaining to people who are our client base, I usually say to them, look, our major area that we focus on is anyone with a fluoro shirt running around completing jobs for a business. Anywhere where you've got to have a head office and then data going back and forth, or a team that's based in the field. So we've got 10,000 users throughout Australia, and our USP, or our unique selling point, is that we provide our customers with one system. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But what that means is once we can integrate with your accounting package, we provide enough in our stack that you're not going to need other applications to really run operations. And how this all comes together is we're really focused on providing innovative solutions using technology. Okay, so quickly our why statement. So we're here to help you get certified and achieve new levels of operational productivity. And how do we do that? We offer what's called low-code, mobile-first applications and intelligent connected devices, which seek to reduce admin by improving end-user engagement. Now, to unpack that a little bit, so low-code, this basically means that once you have access to our application, you can make changes to it yourself. You don't need to know how to code. When I say mobile first, what it means is we design our application to primarily work on mobile interfaces. It's not like it's a web-based application. It's primarily made to work to give you full functionality on your mobile device, whether it's a phone, Android, Apple, or any kind of tablet. And what we also do is we bring into the mix for some customers some intelligent connected devices. So this could be low code, like this NFC tag, or it could be some tracking devices that we place on the items so you can view them wherever they are on a map. And all of this is there to reduce admin. So what we look at doing is we want to see, okay, so here's a situation where there's a 5-step process. Here, using technology, we can reduce this down to a 3-step process. Now, that might not sound like much, but if it's a repetitive process and those 2 steps are taking a lot of time, throughout a year, being able to make these changes can have a significant impact on business. So When I talk about digitizing business operations, the first question that we have for our prospective clients is we want to find out what kind of data they're capturing using paper. Okay. What I mean by that is all kinds of forms, invoices, anything you can see that's completed in the field and comes back to base for processing. That's basically where we jump in. And what I've found is that it's got to a place where in 2020, we have seen a lot of companies that have they've gone over and implemented technology. So one of the issues that I see now, besides from those that are using paper and Excel spreadsheets, is this second one here, which you can see in front of me. So we sometimes speak to clients and they go, no, look, we don't need you because we've got an app for our projects, we've got an app for our jobs, we've got an app for our assets, for our CRM, for HR and payroll and quality. And, you know, we're doing great. We've got an app for this and an app for that. But what happens is the data resides in silos. So what I mean by that is when it becomes time to report on your sales versus projects, you're basically going to have to, in many cases, export all the data from this app into Word or Excel, and also do the same for this app as well, and then put them together. This not only is time consuming, but as soon as you export information, it becomes effectively obsolete. So for that reason, we're a really big believer in providing enough within your stack that you're not going to need other applications. So when it comes to reporting, everything is managed together in the one spot. Now, during the demonstration, I want to be able to take you through some of these elements. All of these are available on our website. You can have a look at in more depth. But just to give you an idea, so we really do cover off pretty much anything that a field-based business will need to run their operations. And if we don't have it, then we can build it for our customers. So the reason why we're here today is to talk about how this ties in with Reckon, because we are a new add-on partner. We've got some customer sites around Australia at the moment. So what this means, why this is significant, is because you can have a single source of truth. If you're using our application to run your field-based team and you're using Reckon, accounts hosted, we can provide your business with a single point of truth. Now, what that means is that when a contact is created in Reckon, it can be synchronized with our system. Conversely, if we create a contact on our system, it can push the other way. So it's totally configurable. Our integration will synchronize every 5 minutes. So this is the same for estimations, quoting, invoicing, timesheets, especially timesheets. We're very strong on this around custom EBA rates, things like materials inventory, equipment, and payroll. But yeah, we can really get into this in a later date, but we want to hear about exactly how you're using Reckon and how you would want to use our software, and then we can basically put together a picture of how it would look when it's all integrated together. Okay, so that was a quick overview. What we're going to do now is we're going to go through a product demo. Okay, so what we've got here, our system, Kim, is a web-based and mobile-enabled platform. So you can download the app from the App Store on your Apple or your Android phone, and you get a username and a password. Now, this also gives you access to the web-based version as well. So traditionally, the administrators and the teams at head office will probably use more of the web-based interface, but what we've got over here, this is the mobile interface. The majority of the users will be out in the field actually capturing data. Okay, so how this all comes together, I'm just going to give you a look at the menu system. So these menu items up here that you can see from the top up here, these are the standard menu items, and these are the standard tools that we provide. And I guess what sets us apart from other providers out there, we want to hear the curliest issues that you've got, the biggest challenges that you've got. And because what this means is that if we're not able to meet your requirements, because every business is different, using our standard stack of tools, what we can do is we can actually build custom tools for our customers, okay? Which means that our system can really fit them like a glove. But to give you a brief overview of the product so you understand how it all comes together, I'll give you a bit of a demonstration here. So I'm looking at the first module here called Contacts. Now, this is effectively the contact database for your business. So it could be, these contacts could be subbies, they could be employees, they could be suppliers, any kinds of contacts that you would have. They could be prospects. And how it works is here, we've got, on this system here, we've got 38 contacts and 650 companies. So if we look over here on the web-based app, you can see that we've got 38 contacts and 650 companies. So it's all synchronized, okay? So if we just have a look in here for a moment, bear with me. Okay, so how it all operates here is that once you understand how one section of the system works, it makes sense throughout the other sections of the application. Okay, so here we've got a contact account of Ben Valora, who's the maintenance manager. So you can see here that he is connected to Appial, so everything's connected to each other. But on this page, there's effectively a digital manila folder of this person. So you can see all the tasks that they're associated with, any projects, any deals if they're a prospect, any files and any jobs they've been assigned. And then once again, if you're looking down here, you can see any forms that they've completed. Okay, now this is 100% customizable, so this is all demonstration data. But you can see here that there's a vehicle declaration, there's a competency form, there's a leave application request. So this guy might be a contractor. Okay, so and if we go down here, then you can see all the contact details on the right-hand side. Okay, now if we have a look on the web-based interface, so on the mobile interface, we'll go onto this guy's account. You can see that once we go on here, it's actually displaying the same information, but because there's less real estate on a mobile phone screen, we have to display it using these tabs here. Okay, so here you can see notes and activities. Okay, so and if we go into the company, just to show you, it's exactly the same, how it all works. You've basically got all the contacts that are associated with you, invoices once again, any forms that are completed here, and all the contact details. Okay, so you might ask, okay, so how does this application work in reality? So what, how it all operates is we've got all these different tools. So in this case, we're having a look at which projects Ben is associated with, because a lot of our customers, they do work on projects, and it doesn't matter if you work more on a kind of a task or a job kind of structure, but for this demonstration, I'll show you how it works when we tie everything together in a project. So if we open the projects here, let's see this to construct project. So within here, this is what it's going to look like for Ben, who's in the field, who's arrived on site, and he wants to go and check out all of the different details around the project. Okay, if I jump over here for a second, I'm going to go from contacts over to projects. So over here, you can see a full listing of all the projects that we're a part of. Okay, so if we go on the dashboard, you can actually see a waterfall diagram here. Here's all the different projects that we've got on the go at the moment. It's a waterfall diagram, and if you click in there, you can actually get to the same point. So here's the to construct all areas project. Okay, so once again, once you're on here, you can go on and you can see dashboard data, see how the project is tracking, any files that are associated with it, plans which are really good for electricians and plumbers, people who are involved in building, and information about the project. So any details that the guys can use to get an understanding of how things are going. And then another really important part is this milestone creation. So as you can see here in this project, there are 5 different milestones, and within each of those milestones, you can assign tasks. So in this case, you can see there's 50% done. Okay. And then once again, similar to the contacts and the company's view, underneath here, you can see the activities, so any jobs that have been assigned to the project, you get an idea of the status, and then all the forms that have been created here, okay? And then lastly, first of all, you set up your project, and you're gonna add in which staff are gonna be added to that project. So in this case, we've got 3 staff, and then once timesheet data has actually been submitted, you can see that what kind of activities they're gonna be performing, okay? And lastly, if we go over here, you can see here, once the timesheet data has been submitted, because we'll go through timesheets in a moment, you can see that they can really keep a pulse on the project. So see, okay, in this case, we've got, for hydro services, we said that we were going to be spending 96 hours, and the actual, sorry, the planned hours are actually 3 hours for hydro services, and the actual is 96. So that will give you an idea of what's going on here. We need to address this area. Okay. So excuse me. So to go through, I'm just gonna pick up my phone now, to actually go through and see how this product is used in reality. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to actually click on a form because there's been an incident on site. Okay. So we'll hit safety, and then we're going to go incident investigation. Okay, so because what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take you through one example of a form, how it all comes together, because the forms engine is a really, really solid part of this product. It really ties everything together. So once I show you how the functionality of this form works, then you'll be able to think in your head about how all the forms you have within your business and the things that you'd like to do when I show you how we can really set up these structured workflows. So if we're opening up this form, you can see it's tied to the To Construct project, and under the incident investigation, you've got the details around that. And you see the time, it's taken at 12:16. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go through this, this form, and I'm just going to enter in some demo data. And you can see that it's taken my address there. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to actually take you through the key parts of this form that require completion before actually being submitted. Okay, so here we go. So there are 2 ways you can type details in. So you can type details like this, or you can actually use voice to text, which is good for the road. At the moment, I'm completing a webinar for Reckon and everything going well. There you go. I fixed up my typo. Okay, so you can obviously edit that. Now, in a lot of cases, they're going to require photos to be taken. So I'm just going to take a picture of Kai, who is our mascot, which you'll learn more about. So in many cases, in manufacturing, for example, they'll use this tool. So they'll go, okay, so there's an issue here, and also you need to be aware of this issue here. Okay, and they submit that as part of the form. Okay, so I'm just going to keep filling in this form. Just bear with me. Description of damage, lots. Now, what do you think caused this issue? Just going to put some dummy text in here. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you this is really important because we're really good at setting up conditional workflows. So you can see here was human error factor. So if I go yes, then you can see that if yes, provide details, this option pops up. But if I go no, then it is removed. So why that's significant is because you can map out all of those processes that in a lot of cases do sit in the heads of some people. You can basically document that with our help, and we can digitize it and put it onto this system. So any kinds of things. So for example, if there is a maintenance manager that looks after some of your equipment, and one of your workers, one of the crew, fills in the form and says that there's an issue, there's a crack in the windscreen, and then this can actually create a task for that maintenance manager to close out. Or in this case, this form here that we're looking at right now, this is going to be a task for the OHS manager. to look at. Okay, so some dummy text. Okay, so has the on-site supervisors reviewed the works swims with workers? And then if we go yes, and then is the incident notifiable to WorkSafe? If we go yes, then it's going to come up with the with some conditional responses, but we'll jump out of that. Now you can see here different kind of color coding for the different forms. It's all pretty standard. So now you can see I've got to the bottom of the form, and the last red remaining item is please sign. Okay, let's imagine that either I haven't seen it, or I'm just a kind of worker that's gone, no bugger, I'm not going to complete it. I'm just going to submit this form as is. Okay, so you hit the plus sign. So now you can see that the form is in draft mode. You can actually do some reviewing of the form, and then if you hit submit, it's going to ask you to complete details that you have missed out in the form. So in this case, I have missed out my email address. So if I go submit and then go, right, now finally, let me fill it. Oh no, I can't, because it says please sign. So now you need to go, it takes you to the direct section on the form so you can fill in. Now let's give it a try. Okay, so now the form has been submitted. So what this means is that it's possible to have forms submitted, copies of them to designated staff when and as required. And for whatever reason, if it was in this case, it's a health and safety issue. So you might have a WorkSafe officer that's on site that says, yeah, please send me a copy of this form. So you can just download it on your phone. As you can see, this is just data that I was taking from my phone before, but it looks really nice as it comes out with your logo on the top, details on the left, and then all of the details around the form down there. Okay. And also you can email the form as well. But what really ties everything together and why people love our system is because it basically keeps everything in as a central point of truth. So you can see here under the safety forms, we've got 56 forms. If I just do a refresh here, you can see it go up to 57. So we'll go over here and we'll find this form. Okay, so here is a copy of the form that I was just working on before. Okay, so you can see the picture that I took. And then once again, if you do need to download it, you can get a copy of the form here. Once again, so this, as I said, this is just data I was just capturing on my phone, but it comes up really nice on the forms, I have to say. And obviously, if you have to email as well, okay? And what's better is that it's kept all in the one project. So all the forms here that are relating to this, any type of form are related here, okay? So if we just go quickly over to forms, you can see here, here's a listing of all the forms that have come in. So once again, here's a copy of the form, and here are all the forms, so you can basically get a good snapshot of how the business is tracking. And then in terms of actually viewing this form, how it's all coming together, and this is what I was talking about with the ability to give you low code or no code integration. This basically means that you can make changes to the system if required, and they basically go live. So it's pretty simple how to create the forms. What we do for our customers, if they've got 10 forms that they're using for timesheets, jobbing, whatever, we first integrate those forms onto the system, or we digitize them, but then moving forward, we give you some training. So if you need to create your own forms as well, you can do that also. So what becomes really really interesting about this, so if I just go, just bear with me, if I go onto the incident investigation form, just bear with me, just doing a refresh here. You can actually see how you can set up different workflows within the business. Okay. There's bear with me. An issue with my internet there. Yeah, so we'll just jump into this one again. Just bear with me. Okay, so on here, so incident investigation. So if we go incident investigation, okay. Okay, so what's really important here is when we talk about workflows, we can basically set it up so whenever certain forms are completed, then this means that these people will be notified, and also we can set it up so certain actions will occur. So if there's a form that you're creating that's used for your jobbing, what we can do is you can have it so invoices are created off the back of that straight into Reckon. Okay, so what we've done is we've basically gone through contacts, projects, and forms, which are really key elements of the product. So once again, how this all ties together, if I go onto here, one of the things that we're really keen on doing is basically improving workflows. Now, what I say by this is we want to make it as easy as possible to get the job done. So I'm just going to tap this NFC tag here, for example. So what this means is, for a lot of our customers, we stick these NFC tags in the lunchroom, we stick them on equipment, and basically what it means is that when someone arrives at work, they can just tap their NFC tag and that will clock them on, or in this case, we've affixed it onto the primal tanker and then just come up directly with that asset so they can do the forms on there. Okay, so in terms of facilitation of work processes, that's what we're really keen on working on. So we've got a full equipment management tool, so you can manage all your equipment. The same goes for all of your assets as well. So any maintenance history, any allocation to projects. We also have a system for any of you that are looking to get ISO certified. Our system is basically a framework that can be used to achieve this. So all the data, all the policies and procedures can be stored on the one system. And then we can also, which is probably the last thing that we'll look at here for the moment, is around invoicing. So this is a full invoicing system. So if we go on to sales here, what we basically allow our customers to do is create invoices, which can either go direct to Reckon at that point as soon as they're submitted, or we can basically have it so there's a gated process. So anything to do with deals, so speculative deals, because it basically works as a full CRM for our customers, and then it works through quoting, invoicing, and purchase orders. Okay, so what I can see is we've covered a lot of space here in a short amount of time. So I want you to have a look at our website after this. If you want to have a demonstration and discussion about your business, just hit this button wherever you see it throughout the site. We cover off a very, very broad area, as you can see, a lot of different industries in the field services space. So please welcome you to have a look at that. And I'll hand over back to Vicky so we can actually go through any questions if they've come in. If not, otherwise we'll we can send through some details.
Thanks, Lou. Yeah, we have a couple of questions. So I will start with the first one. Can you have log details that restrict some details, i.e. if you had all your employee details and pay rates in there, but you only wanted payroll to be able to see this?
Yeah, absolutely. So the system is fully granular. So you might have, I'm the administrator here, so you can see we've got 12 different projects. If you're a standard user, you're only part of one project, then you're only going to see one project when you link on here. And the same goes for any sorts of rights around invoicing, pay rates. Like we've got some tools where you can basically set unique pay rates for if you've got 100 employees, you could have 100 different pay rates. And of course, only specified people can see that sort of information.
Thank you. And the next question is, we're a small electrical business, 2 employees. Husband is the electrician and I'm in the office. Our main aim would be the hours our electrician works on a job site, to have those hours loaded into a Reckon invoice. We also have wholesaler invoices, which need to be on charge into a Reckon invoice, along with stock held in the work vehicle on charged. I'm not exactly sure if Kynection business would be suitable.
Yeah, look, I can answer the first point, and probably best to take the other one offline just to go through it in a little bit more depth. But in terms of, in a very simple sense, how you can create, set up your timesheet data. So the idea is that, and in this case, this is totally configurable, but I'll show you the vanilla version. So if you could hit plus, and then you're going to go work. In this case, you've basically listed all the projects that you're part of. And then you're going to go, okay, so this is a milestone, if this is applicable. If not, you're going to skip this step. And then you can say which work you're doing. And then if you want to add equipment, if not, that's fine. And then here is where you can say, okay, so we worked 4 hours on this, started at 12:30. And that's automatically been added to the system. So that's done for that. In terms of every customer is different, so there's no one size fits all. But how it works is that once you've saved this time using the mobile application or even the web, then it can be approved by the manager if required, and then submitted over direct to Reckon for payroll. And the same goes for any invoices that are created. You might be in the project here, and then let's go. So we're on the project here. And then we're going to do we're going to make an invoice. So quote, invoice, purchase order, expense, if you want to register those, and these can be tied to this project in this case. But for the other issues, yeah, happy to set up probably a time to have a chat with them.
Okay, that's the end of the questions.
Okay, well, Vicky, thank you very much, and thank you everyone for listening in. I hope you got something out of it. It's yeah, we're we cover a very broad space, and we just want to really help solve problems and yeah, basically give everyone what everyone's really wanting, which is one system to operate everything, which is their finance and their operations.
Thank you, Luke, and thank you all for attending. If you do have any more questions, please email them to training@reckon.com and we can forward them on. And also, if you'd like to request a copy of the recording, please email us and we can forward that on as well. Okay, have a lovely day and we'll see you at the next webinar.
Thank you.